This is a reversible underbust corset that can be worn in different ways. If you're interested, stay tuned and let's get started. So I'll be using this as the pattern paper. Okay, so this is a lining. So we have the bust line, under bust line, the waist, and the length of the top. Okay, so my bust line is 10 inches, under bust 13, waist 16, and then the length is 22 inches. So now we don't need this upper part, but I'll be drafting it for a better understanding. So I just marked my shoulder, and now I am marking the neck width and also the neck depth. Okay, so all these parts are not important, but then for better understanding we will just draft it. Okay, I came down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. From the slope I'm going to mark the chest line just like this, and then I will rule a straight line like so. I would also divide the armhole by 2, then mark my bust point on the chest line. I'll go in by ½ inch here, and then I'll connect it together. So all this part is not important, okay, but then like I said, so now from here I'm going to mark my nipple to nipple, which is 3.5 inches. So I'll mark it all the way down. Okay, so from this part it is important. So all the way down I'm going to mark 3.5, and I'll connect it into a straight line. And then I'll come to the bust points, come down by 1 inch, and then on the length of the top I'm going to go up by 1 inch as well. And then on my waist I'll take ½ inch on both sides, connect all these lines together. Okay, so just like this. Okay, and then I'll connect the other one together as well. So after connecting all these lines together, next thing I'll be doing is to mark my bust points. Okay, on the bust line it is 9 inches, and I'll just mark 9 inches. I will also mark my waist measurement on my waistline, and then on this hem you'll be marking your hip measurement. Okay, so I just marked mine, and I'll connect all these lines together. Okay, so I'll just get rid of this pointed edge. After that, I'll now this under bust. Okay, now we will begin making the corset. So I'll just cut out from the under bust. So if you are drafting directly on the lining that you'll be using, all you need to do is to go up by ½ inch. So you'll be cutting out on that ½ inch. Okay, do you understand? And then you add ½ inch at the bottom and also by the side. So because I'll be transferring this on another fabric, so I'll just cut directly on the under bust. So after cutting the under bust, go ahead and start drafting. So what I will do now is to ignore this line that you can see here. Okay, ignore the line. All I have to do is from the under bust line I came down by 5 inches. Okay, so this depends on how long you want the side to be. You can use 3 inches, you can use 4 inches, you can use 3.5 inches. Okay, so I used 5 inches, and I'll connect that 5 inches into the length just like this. Can you see? Okay, so the one with the yellow chalk is what I'll be cutting out. So I just came down from here by 5 inches. Okay, as you can see, and I connected it this way. So after doing that, next thing I'll be doing now is just to cut this out. So you can fold your dart like this and then cut it out if you want to, or you can just cut it out straight. Okay, so I just fold the dart a little, and then I'll just cut it out. So you can see that we did not add stitching allowance by the side, right? So this dart, we don't need this dart. Okay, we don't need it to be separated. So all you need to do is to fold in your dart. Okay, so if you're using a pattern paper, you'll be doing the same thing. After folding in your dart, you realize that the side is not equal. All you need to do is to trim it out. So I'll use this to cut out on the fabric itself. Okay, so this black fabric is a crepe fabric. Okay, so all I'll do now is to just place the center front. So this is the center front, so I'll place it like so. Okay, so I just let me just show you how to cut it. So this is the center front, so you just place it, and then I'm going to pin this down so that it stays in place. And then after pinning it down, I'm going to add stitching allowance all over this pattern. So what I'll do now is to add 1 inch by the side. Okay, so by this side I added just 1 inch, okay, stitching allowance, and then I'll mark it all the way down. So after marking, next thing I'll be doing is to add ½ inch at the top and ½ inch at the bottom. So I've added it, as you can see. So I added ½ inch at the top and ½ inch at the bottom. So I'll go ahead now and just cut this out. So if you've watched these videos this far, kindly give it a thumbs up. So this is what I have after I was on cutting. Now I'll cut out the same thing on the Ankara as well. Okay, so I've cut it out, and this is what it is looking like when it is being opened. So what I'll do now is to place it right side facing right side, and I'll stitch it by the top side, just the top for now. After stitching it, this is what it is looking like, as you can see. So you can go ahead and give this a very good press. When I was making this, there was no light. Okay, so go ahead and give it a very good press. After doing that, these are the loops that I will be using. I just folded my bias like this into two. Okay, and then that was how I got the loops. So what I'll do now is to place the loops, and the loops I use is 2 inches long. Okay, so what I need to do is to place the loops just the way you see me doing. Okay, so I gave 2 inches interval for each loops, or 1.5 inch rather. I gave 1.5 inch interval for each of the loops. So go ahead and make yours in your desired way. So what I have is 4 loops for each of the side. So I'll first of all stitch down the loops, then I'm going to cover it up with my fabric and stitch it down again. This way it will make the loops very tight. So after stitching the loops down, this is what I have. Okay, so I made sure that the loops do not get to the end. Okay, I left ½ inch at the bottom part by the side. Okay, because you need to stitch the under. So this is what it is looking like. Okay, so you can go ahead and give this a very good press. Now we'll be creating the channel for our boning, or rather our boning channels. And to do that, all what I did was just to mark the middle first. Okay, so this is the middle. After marking it, then I just placed my boning channels like this. Can you see? I did not draw directly on the line. Okay, I left a little bit of the line, a little bit. Okay, so that the boning channel will pass through it freely without any difficulty. So that was what I did, and I just created channels. So you can go ahead and just create your desired channel. You can even insert this boning channel in the Ankara part. Okay, anywhere you want to. So after creating it, I'll stitch on these lines. Okay, so you can also use your bias to create channel. You just have to be creative. Okay, there are different ways you can do this. You can decide to put the bias in front and just create your channel. Okay, so for me, I'll use the other method. So I'll just go ahead and stitch all this line that I drew down. So after stitching it down, this is what I have. So you go ahead and iron this and clean the chalk. Okay, because it is a reversible. So now what I did was to bond the edges of this boning. Each of this boning, I have bond the edges. Okay, so that it will not hurts me when I am putting it on, or hurts your client. Okay, so after doing that, you go ahead and place your boning channels. So this is me fixing the boning channels into each of the channels that I created. So if you don't have if you can't bond your boning, go ahead and use sellotape to pipe the edges. Okay, so after doing this now, make sure that your boning channel did not get to the bottom of your dress. Okay, so I'm going to use my bias to turn the bottom part. If you don't want to use a bias, you can fold in, or you can fold in the fabric by 1/2 inch, okay, before then you iron it, and then you fix your boning channel, then you just top stitch. I hope that makes sense. I hope you understand. But I am going to use my bias. Okay, so I just place the bias on the black fabric like so, and then I'll stitch this side all the way down. After stitching it, I'm going to flip it over just like this, and then I'm going to top stitch. So that's basically it, and that's just basically what I will be doing. Okay, so after doing that, this is what we have. It is looking so beautiful. I'm sorry that I could not iron this at this point. Okay, so but this is what it should look like. You go ahead and give this a very good press, and that is all for this tutorial. I hope you find it helpful. If you do, kindly give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye for now.